Hello, and welcome back to the Macro Gamer channel. My name is Mark Cassingham. Today we're going into my new portfolio, which I will be starting on this channel, called the Sword portfolio. Just like our Shield portfolio, we're going to do the weekly numbers every week to give you updates on what the portfolio is doing. The Shield portfolio is my primary portfolio, which means I put the most amount of effort into that. Where the Sword portfolio is the ancillary portfolio to the Shield's, to the Shield's primary portfolio. So the ancillary is more of a supportive portfolio. So if I get a good gain or a sizable gain in the Sword portfolio, I will likely sell off the assets and transfer that to the Shield portfolio and then maintain the Shield's portfolio's growth. The Sword portfolio does have the opportunity for high growth, but also comes with high risk. So I could also lose money as quick as I could gain money potentially. With the Shield portfolio, I'm trying to be very measured in my approach for growing the portfolio. So since the Sword portfolio is brand new, it's not going to have a whole lot going on with it. At least we're only going to have 1 week's numbers. As you can see, this is going to be week number 1 with the date today. It's also on the anniversary of the Shield's 1-year performance update. So happy anniversary, Shield portfolio. But now we're going to start doing the Sword portfolio. So again, the Shield is the primary. It's the one we protect, the one we defend, the one we put all our money and life savings into. The Sword portfolio is the ancillary. It's used to augment the performance of the Shield portfolio. So any additional gains I get in the Sword portfolio, I'll transfer to the Shield portfolio. So anyway, this will be our Sword portfolio. So first, just like our Shield portfolio, we start with our portfolio's net worth. So we initially seeded the account with $100. And we have 1 week's worth of performance. So in 1 week, we have a market gain of $9.25, and we have a return of positive 12.05%. You can see the different colors for all the different assets that are in the in the portfolio. We have portfolio weekly data for week 1. So as you can see, it's a very simple 1 week worth of data chart. We have our initial deposit here, $100 on the start of the week, the 14th. And from there, we're going to do the exact same like the Shield portfolio every week. We're going to auto deposit $10. And in the cash account, when it exceeds $25, it will automatically deposit into the investment account and buy up the assets per your asset allocation. So the $100 is the very beginning, starting from scratch, just like the Shield portfolio, started with $100 from the very beginning. And we're going to build it up from there. So the net cash flow is, of course, $100 because that was the $100 deposit which opened the account. During this time period, we have a market gain of $9.25, and we have no dividend, right? Because we have very, very, very short amount of time. So we have a total gain of $9.25, and we have a money-weighted return of positive 12.05%. So double digits in 1 week, really, really fast growth. This is what I was talking about, high growth. We have our portfolio weekly percentages. So on the right, we have our target weightings. So at the top, we have our ARK ETF at 20%. We have our energy sector stock, SMR, a nuclear small modular reactor company at 8%. We have our aerospace stock which is Rocket Lab at 8%. We have our healthcare stock, which is CRISPR at 8%. We have our defense stock, AeroVironment, which is at 8%. We have our automotive stock, which is Rivian at 8%. We have our financial sector stock, which is Coinbase at 8%. We have our data analytics stock, which is Palantir at 8%. We have our manufacturing stock, which is Stratasys at 8%. We have our water sector stock, which is Consolidated Water at 8%. And we have our agricultural stock, which is Village Farms at 8%. This is the whole shebang right here, 11 assets. So starting at the top for 1 week performance, we have the ARK ETF up 9.15%. for a market gain of $1.41. We have our SMR stock up 43.25% for a market gain of $2.58. We have Rocket Lab up $41.51% for a market gain of $2.48. We have CRISPR Therapeutics up 22.70% for a market gain of $1.38. We have AeroVironment up 10.40% for a market gain of 64 cents. We have Rivian up 9.91% for a market gain of 61 cents. We have Coinbase up 8.60% for a market gain of 53 cents. We have Palantir up 8.11% for a market gain of 50 cents. We have Stratasys down 3.68% for a market loss of 23 cents. We have Consolidated Water Company down 4.00% for a market loss of 25 cents. We have Village Farms down 6.38% for a market loss of 40 cents. So this is our weekly percentages for week 1 of our sword portfolio. And of course, that's all we have. Because this is week 1, we're starting all over again. As the weeks and months go on, I'll have more data sets, more information, right, which we'll add. But for now, let's go to our charts. So we have our ARK ETF. So if we look at on a 5-year, back in the COVID pandemic, this was peaking, or this was on a bull run, and then it peaked in February of 2021, and it's gone down and sideways ever since. It's kind of had a good little median line around $60. So in this 1 year, though, from April of 2025, it's been in a strong uptrend. See this ARK ETF coming up. So remember, ARK is a collection of innovative stocks. Then we have SMR, which has also had a bit of a rebound, coming up from this low of April 2025, coming up, coming down, peaking back up. So there was some good, I think, legislation being passed for trying to increase our nuclear energy capacity in the U.S. So we'll see if we get more of that. We have Consolidated Water. Also, again, a lot of these coming up in April and May, and then peaking, coming down. We have our Village Farms, almost bottoming at this low level. Village Farms is, had 2 big spikes in 2019, 2021, but it's been relatively low. So Village Farms. Coinbase definitely been coming up, especially with all this new crypto legislation that's passed. So Coinbase is doing good. Stratasys, also one where it's at a high run up in 2014, but it hasn't had much since, coming down. Where can I put a line on this one? Then we'll put it at 10. 10 seems like a good round number. I feel like stuff's trying to happen at 10. Right there. So there you go. So it's trying to maintain. See how that does. Rivian, another one who's also been coming down. Electric vehicle stocks are tough ones. Another $10, but coming low, but actually coming up in our weekly data so far. Palantir doing phenomenal. Jesus Christ, look at this. Going back to 2020, and then 2022, 2023, and then just surging. I don't even know where to put a fucking line on this one. Maybe right here. And we'll put it at the $80. I just want to kind of get an idea. Oops, I didn't want to fucking drop it that quick. $80. Right there. So I want to get kind of an idea of where these things are going. Palantir definitely on a run. CRISPR also coming down to this April low here. Then coming back up. This is a tough one, gene editing. It's definitely a tough one. AeroVironment, defense, also coming up. Oh, strong bounce right here. Look at this fucking straight up candle. June 25th. Look at that. Boom. Just strong upward performance. And Rocket Lab, just like the rocket fucking ships they send off into space, just climbing up. Right? So several of these are doing pretty good right now. Right? There's the whole stack. But let's get some more detail on some of these. Let's use our AI to kind of do some fundamental research. So let's do quick news update on ARK this past week. Let's see what kind of information it gives me. I want it kind of short and sweet. So ARK, price movement, ARK rose, innovation, market sentiment, post on X, fund activity, led by Kathy Wood, performance, fund activity, okay. I want it more like, let's see, bullish sentiment, buying Tesla before Q2 earnings, okay. All right, interesting. Not too much. Let's do SMR. NewScale Corporation. Indicate positive sentiment with trading, noting a breakout above 45, targeting higher price levels. However, concerns about dilution raised. Just handling SMR doubled its float over the year, 30 million. I'm gonna do like see shorts update in the past, say 7 days. Just want like something quick and easy. Over the past 7 days, NewScale Power Corporation has shown significant trending, blah blah blah. Opening. If I say a quick bullet point. On SMR news this past 7 days. Stock performance, SMR stock rose 32% over the past week. That's 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. Market capitalization, market sentiment, technical analysis indicates a strong buy rating. I don't care about buy ratings, sell ratings, social media sentiment, actually just mixed views. Rally in nuclear stocks due to AI and energy investment announcements, which others note funds cutting nuclear positions, describing SMR as a riskier play due to industry context. Saw increased attention following positive Department of Energy comments on nuclear energy potentially tied to AI infrastructure. However, no specific SFR announcements, e.g. partnerships, broader nuclear sector, including SMR gaining traction. New York plans its first U.S. reactor in years. Signaling growth investment in nuclear energy. Interesting. Okay. Let's do Consolidated Water. This is just my quick fundamental analysis. Couldn't find any specific news in the past 7 days. Recent developments, stock performance. Yep. Recent earnings. May 12th, 2025, CW reported Q1 25 earnings with a earnings per share of 31 cents, beating analyst estimates by 0.095, indicating strong financial performance earlier this year. Hawaii project milestone. CWCO's subsidiary Kalealoa Desalco, I don't know how to say that, achieved a major milestone for a 204 million seawater desalination plant project in Hawaii, as noted in May 2025. That's awesome. Dividend pays a thrice yearly dividend of 0.421. Let's quite get a dividend. Analyst outlook. Analysts suggest CWL is undervalued. Blah blah blah. Don't care about your opinion. For real-time updates on specific news the past 7 days, I recommend checking financial news platforms like Nasdaq. Fine. Blah blah blah. Yeah, go fuck yourself. All right, let's check Village Farms. Okay, here are the news. Strategic business restructuring. Village Farms entered an agreement to restructure its business, focus on optimizing operations. Earnings call highlights. The company held a conference call discussing strategic shifts, emphasizing profitable sales and international expansion. Increased quarterly loss. VFF reported a higher quarterly loss of Q1 2025, with earnings per share of minus 0.06, meaning estimates by 0.048. Fresh produce segment privatization. Announced a joint venture to privatize its fresh produce segment, aiming to streamline operations and boost growth. Okay. Interesting. What's next? Coin. This one should give me some news for sure. Should the legislation pass. All-time high stock price. Coin reached a new all-time high since its 2021 IPO, with its market valuation exceeding $100 billion, driven by positive crypto legislation developments, Genius Act impact, the signing of the Genius Act, along with the Clarity Act advancing to the Senate, boosted Coin's stock price, reflecting optimism in the crypto market. Market reaction to crypto bills. Post on X noted a bounce in Coin stock following crypto-related news, particularly after the U.S. House passed the Genius Act, signaling regulatory process. Whale activity, just people buying in. 50% of the stock broke out. Blah blah blah. Bitcoin Treasury. Genius Group (GNS) announced plans to hold more Bitcoin than Coinbase, positioning itself as a major public company with Bitcoin reserves. S&P 500 inclusion. Coinbase's inclusion in the S&P 500 following its historical entry as the first crypto firm in the index increases its visibility, industry exposure. All right, Coinbase. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, it's after Coin. Stratasys. Just getting news updates, you know? Just little news updates. Here are the key highlights of days. Fortune 450MC 3D printer upgrade, July 9, 2025. Stratasys announces an upgraded version of its Fortus 450MC 3D printer, marking its 10th anniversary. The enhanced model includes hardened components, an all materials license, and 1-year licenses for GrabCAD Streamline Pro and GrabCAD Print Pro. Further upgrades including support for glass-filled, fire-resistant material. I like that, fire-resistant. And faster build capabilities are planned in later 2025. Partnership with Shin-Itsu, July 14, 2025. Stratasys collaborated with Shin-Itsu to launch P3TM Silicone 225A, a new material for industrial-grade additive manufacturing, aiming at expanding applications in various industries. Interesting. Okay. RIVN. Whoops. Oh, I see what it's doing. No. RIVN. 2026 model year update. Rivian launched 2026 R1T and R1S models with a slight price increase, a few $100s per trim, and a higher destination fee of $1,895. The federal EV lease purchase credit of up to $7,500 ends September 30, 2025. Dun dun dun. NACS charging ports. 2026 models now feature standard NACS charging ports, moving away from CCS ports using 2025 models, which require adapters. Portable charger charge. Portable charger change. Rivian no longer includes a portable charger with 2026 vehicles. It's now $400 accessory. Okay. That sounds like it sucks. I don't even have a Rivian. New headquarters in Atlanta. Rivian announced a new East Coast headquarters in Atlanta opening in late 2025, starting with 100 employees and expanding to 500 by 2026. All right. Headquarter expansion. Software update 2025.22. Introduced Google Maps integration. That's amazing. Improved driver assistance for trailers and enhanced vehicle dynamics for Gen 2 R1T, R1S. Connect Plus subscribers get priority rollout. All right. Stock downgrade Rivian to neutral, citing weaker demand. Softer R203 sales expectations, blah, blah, blah. Upgrades, downgrades, I don't care. Stock sentiment. Mixed sentiment with a bearish tilt, blah, blah, blah. 1 billion Volkswagen investment. Amazon 100,000 van order and tariff-related issues. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. People start getting into all the sentiment and stuff like that. I don't care. I just want to see what progress is being made. PLTR. Palantir. I'm sure this is going to be a fun one. Stock performance. Also, stock hit a new all-time high with a year-to-date increase of 75% and a 440.18% rise over the past year, driven by strong AI demand. NS upgrade. Upgrades Palantir neutral, underperform, blah, 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 blah. Partnerships. Knightscope signed a 2-year agreement with Palantir to join the FedStart program, aiming to accelerate Knightscope's growth. Valuation concern, analysis note, PRTP, blah, 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 blah. Political scrutiny. Palantir faced criticism from former employees and lawmakers, e.g. Sen Wyden and AOC, over its involvement with ICE, with protests performing to its Bay Area offices. Okay. AI and commercial growth, continued focus on AI-driven platforms, with U.S. commercial revenue up 71% year over year, surpassing a $1 billion annual run rate. Earnings outlook. Q2 earnings expected on August 4th, 2025. That's a potential fifth consecutive quarter of accelerated growth. Market sentiment, mixed views on X, blah, blah, blah. Sentiment, schmentiment. CRISPR. Crisp. Insider buying. Director Cinnamon George purchased $51.5 million worth of CRISPR Therapeutics AG CRISP shares, significantly boosting stock price by 16% intraday, nearly a 52-week high. Interesting. Stock performance. CRISP surged 25% over the past week, buzzing 55.09 despite a broader market downturn due to U.S.-China trade negotiations. Executive departure. Chief Operating Officer Julianne Bruno announced her resignation effective April 11, 2025 to pursue external opportunities, contributing to a 12% price decline earlier in the week. Analyst sentiment, blah, 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 positioning, market context, CRISP experienced volatility amid market disruptors, tariff tension, that's 500 NASDAQ to 10%. Speculation on regulatory news, posts on X suggest potential upcoming regulatory news, possibly linked to insider buying, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm just looking for like news, not like fucking people's opinions of news. If that makes sense. So CRISP, AVAV, here are the news points. AeroVironment stock performance. AVAV stock surged 11.8% to 260.82, driven by defense sector momentum and positive developments. NS upgrade, blah, blah, blah. Raise price target, don't care. Earnings and sales growth reported 174% quarter-over-quarter earnings growth and 40% sales increase, with fund ownership up 2.5%. Technical analysis. Stock broke to all-time highs with a bullish engulfing pattern forming and potential to fill a price gap. Whatever. Index rebalancing, AVAV to replace Champion X Corp in the S&P Mid-Cap 400, potentially causing a sell imbalance at market close. Interesting. Business outlook, strong growth in loitering munition systems, particularly Switchblade orders with a price target of $301 set by some analysts. Get them Switchblades. Fucking suicide drones. That's what Ukraine was using for a while. I don't know if they're still using against Russia. Pretty sure it was them, unless there's more. Rocket Lab stock surge. Rocket Lab USA Inc. Rocket Lab stock jumped nearly 11% on July 14th, 2025, building a strong rally. Shares up 60% year to date, nearly 70% over the past month. Price target upgrades. Bank of America raised price target. Blah, 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 blah. Hypersonic test contract secured a $1.45 billion contract from Kratos for a full-scale hypersonic test flight for the U.S. Department of Defense under the MACH-TB 2.0 program, set for launch no earlier than Q1 2026 using the HASTE rocket. So I think I gotta fucking figure out what that HASTE rocket was. It's another version of one of the rockets. I don't remember exactly what it was. I know it's not the Neutron. The Neutron is when they're going for the bigger one, where they can do a higher payload. Technical breakout, plus X Nether Rocket Lab strong bullish structure, blah blah blah. Yeah. Market performance, stock reached an all-time high of $40.12 with a market cap exceeding $19 billion, fueled by a 660% surge over the past year. Analyst sentiment, key bank upgraded, blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's kind of the fundamental analysis update as well as our technical analysis. So I think with this portfolio, I'm going to do more research through X platform, just because it just gave me little updates on the individual stocks. But ultimately, we just started. This portfolio is brand new. It's week 1. But just remember, this is going to be the ancillary portfolio. So if we do get enough of a gain, let's say exceeding more than half of the Shield's portfolio's value, maybe 50% to 70%, something like that, I'm going to sell off, reducing my Sword portfolio's total value, giving that to the Shield portfolio, increasing its total value. So the Sword portfolio is ancillary to the Shield's portfolio primary, right? Primary, ancillary. So think of it like that way. But anyway, this is the new portfolio. Very excited. Looking forward to its long-term performance and sharing it with you all. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good day.